Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Check out the link below, fool.com/the smattering, to get access to the 10 best stocks to buy right now. Everybody's looking for the next great AI stock. Companies like Nvidia that are making the chips and have the ecosystem for designing the systems are clearly winning the AI race. But what we don't know is all of the companies in between that are going to try to leverage AI in some way to improve their business or deliver something better to their customers. But there's a company already showing how AI can help it be more profitable and help its customers deliver better. And that's Deere Company. I'm Jason Hall. This is The Smattering. And I got Tyler Crow here with me, and he is laughing because he's so giddy about this idea.
I was laughing at that whole intro, and that's like, now we're going to talk about tractors.
Yeah, but it's true. And I think you know this to be true, Tyler. What's so interesting about Deere Company, with the John Deere brand, of course, is its major brand, when it comes to thinking about AI?
Let's set the stage for everyone, because so much of the AI conversation has kind of been around like the big tech companies and how they're going to be able to leverage AI to reduce their costs, or I don't know, in what Google's case, I don't know, sell more ads. But let's talk about industrial uses for artificial intelligence and industrial use for basically like advanced computing. And this is where things get really interesting, because you can not only deliver operational costs for yourself, let's say like making your manufacturing systems more efficient, but you can actually deliver value to your customers. And this is where things get a little bit unique with artificial intelligence and the like mapping systems that they've been able to develop. It's like basically satellite linked automated tractors that have been able to, remote sensing that can basically almost on a granular level tell you how much fertilizer to apply for a certain tract of land, or one that's received a little bit extra moisture than normal. So you might have to hit it with a little bit more herbicide than something that might be a little bit higher up on your drainage level. Little micro things like that where you can improve yield for something like cash crops like corn and soybeans, where profit margins tend to be pretty thin and it is a volume game to say the least. If you can make adjustments like that, improve yields for farmers, that is the kind of value proposition that Deere & Company can leverage AI and really deliver value to customers, and something that can be immensely profitable. I don't even know what the rest of these AI companies can do, but I think that makes sense.
And that's the key. And we recently saw an upgrade from Microsoft. They made a big investment in the company behind ChatGPT to leverage that technology to help them sell more enterprise software and those tools that are going to help unlock value for the users of those tools. And there are a few harder industries out there than agriculture when it comes to having enough labor, managing your costs. Businesses that operate on very, very thin margins, they tend to be risk averse because minor changes can be completely devastating to the bottom line if they don't deliver. Tyler, I want to hit on a couple of things that you talked about. We're not just talking about GPS powered tractors that can automatically plow a field or lay seeds, but we're talking about the precision level sensors to do the things you were talking about, measuring moisture levels, using optical sensors to be able to actually observe crops, looking for weeds, looking for pests, looking for diseased plants. So you can very precisely administer the proper, like you mentioned, herbicides, right, as an example, or the proper amount of fertilizer instead of just covering an entire field. So cost reduction, if you're a farmer, right? There's the environmental benefits of that as well. You're trying to manage your land as a resource, and it also allows you to be proactive about these things. And this is where I think what Deere's providing can be really useful, because they can give farmers predictive tools to help them make decisions before it's a problem. And these aren't just cash crops. They have tools that are being able to be applied in orchards as well, their portfolio of products. The thing that I really wanted to hit on too is, again, we're just talking about on the agricultural side, right? For these things, they're developing a lot of these things for their other industrial tools. They've been rolling out a lot of these tools for years in this area as well. Tyler, this is the big thing to me. You talked about it. I want to emphasize it. It gives them something that adds value. When you go to market with a product where you have a competitive advantage and adds value, you can sell it for a premium. You have some pricing power. So I think as investors, things that we should look for when we hear somebody talking about artificial intelligence, this is a case of how it can work to generate returns for the business itself and pass that along to investors. Deere's been a great long-term winner. My question for you, Tyler, is Deere worth buying right now? Let's talk about valuation with Deere.
It's valued pretty high on a price to book value, but price to earnings, 13 times earnings is not an unreasonable price for a company like Deere. And considering over the past 10 years, it's traded somewhere between 10 and 25 times earnings, it's kind of on the lower side. And with the catalyst that could be coming with AI, regardless of the up and down swings that you typically get with a cyclical machinery company like Deere, it doesn't look too unreasonable.